The first thing I want to say is just a little quick information about myself, and I'll introduce Linnea and Barbara later on in this presentation. But my name is Scott Gunn. I've actually been a full-time manager at Camp Emerald Bay for 6 years now. This is going to be my 6th summer. I did 3 as the program director, and this will be my 3rd as the camp director. You may notice, if you haven't been to camp in 2-3 years, that things are even more organized than they were in the past, and that we've successfully added programs for, I think, the first time in a decade. And that is, honestly, I want to give credit to Linnea, our program director, for that. She's been able to focus me on the things I need to do and have a lot of program growth. And she'll be talking about that stuff later on in the presentation. But we have definitely made some progress, and we're excited to see you troops back again to camp and you new troops. First off, there might be some family members or troops who have never been to Emerald Bay or have never been to Southern California or Catalina Island. Catalina Island is just about an hour and 20 minutes west of Long Beach. So it's about an hour and 20-minute boat ride from San Pedro and Long Beach. And our camp is located on the northwest end of the island. So a couple of great things about that and the geography. Number one, our camp is facing mainland California. Like most of the inhabited space on the island, we're facing straight east, and we're not getting big swell systems or weather coming directly into the bay. So that's why it's easy for us to have a safe swim area where we teach swimming and life-saving merit badge, and even Doctor's Cove, where there's a controlled environment for beginner scuba. So again, we're facing the mainland California. Even if there was some sort of large swell system or storm, it would very likely be pounding the backside of the island, and we would still be facing mainland California with a bit of peace. Emerald Bay, not just the camp, but the actual bay, is absolutely stunning. You can see up to 60 feet through the water. The reason it's called Emerald Bay is because the green-blue hue that shows up from the white sandy bottom and the very clear water. The bay is about a half-mile deep on the southeast side. And that is basically our ocean playground. On the other side, we have Doctor's Cove and a much smaller point, but again, it's quite protected, and we only share the bay with some private yachters who might be out for a weekend or for an extended trip. They do not have permission to access the scout camp, and we really don't see much traffic through the camp either. So the idea of having strangers pass through, having unknown vehicles or anything like that is quite rare for us because of how much control and how rural we actually are. We get hikers, but we host them through camp with adult staff members or adult volunteers. And other than that, it's really just the scouts and our staff. So if parents have questions, make sure you reassure them that this is a beautiful rural place, and we definitely populate the area with scout trained and registered people. You rarely will see a civilian, if you will, in the camp. The island itself is about 27 to 30 miles long and 6.5 miles wide at its widest. Again, we're on the far northwest end, and it's not realistic, this is a question we get all the time, it's not realistic to have family members or outsiders visit Emerald Bay from one of the satellite towns on the island. Very expensive, very logistically difficult to get to Emerald Bay from Avalon and also Two Harbors. Even though it's only a couple miles away, transportation is very expensive, and it's just not really built that way. So if you have parents that think they want to get a hotel in Avalon and then drop in and see their scout, it's not really an option. It's very difficult logistically and expensive, and unless they have a private yacht or boat that they own, it's very difficult to even get into the bay. So just wanted to clarify some of that. Are there any questions about the geography, the island? I think actually, has everyone in here been to Emerald Bay already? Most? Right on. I recognize.
Not as scout as a coach.
I mean, awesome, yeah. So it's a familiar place, and I'm going to switch over to the camp map so we can familiarize, but I'm going to take you kind of quickly through this because I know most of you are familiar. So more micro within the camp, we have a 66-acre lease. Our land is covered by the Catalina Island Conservancy, which is basically a private land trust that acts like a state park. 90% of the island and about maybe 40 to 50% of our camp is actually on that conservancy land. So you'll notice that there's not really any development in that part of our camp, and that it's wild with beautiful wild animals, birds, foxes, sometimes bison and mule deer, and it's a pretty rich environment, especially now that we got some rain 2 years ago. The front half of the camp is on the Catalina Island Company land, and that's the 10% of the land where people are allowed to inhabit and make money on the island. Most of the east coast of Catalina facing mainland California is accessible because the Catalina Island Company manages leases with private organizations and companies like ours. So Emerald Bay has been a scout camp for 95 years. This is our 95th summer. We're very proud of that, and we're going to have a special patch one of our staff members has been designing that we'll be offering for pre-order and hopefully selling in the store if we don't sell them all out before camp. But that'll be a WLACC Council shoulder patch that has a set of 3 with different plants and animals from Catalina Island represented, and it should be a pretty classy, nice patch. I think Linnea might show you later on. Anyway, I digress. Back to this 5th page in your packet, which is the camp map. I think I got off a little bit. Like I said, I won't stick here too long, but you'll see that our campsites are marked by little tents and numbers with the corresponding list on the left column. We tend to have our biggest campsites in the very front of camp and the very back of camp. Some troops prefer the front because it's quicker to get to the waterfront. Some prefer the back because there's a nearly private bathroom facility and quite a bit more shade. So it really depends what your troop likes, and there is a way, and we'll talk about this later during the meeting as well, but there is a way to request a particular campsite or a particular area from us. We can't guarantee we can give you exactly what you want, but if you use our 2020 special request form, it's a special request form found on the information and packets link on our website. If you fill that out, then you have a much better chance of Linnea and I not forgetting your request and being able to serve you as best we possibly can. We'll bring up the special request form more later. As we continue to look at this map that we're talking about, you'll see that most of the buildings are concentrated towards the front of camp, bringing it back to the point I mentioned about the Island Company and the Conservancy land. And the reason I bring that up is because we really want to make sure that everybody who comes to camp is conscious that part of our camp is a land trust where we're trying to protect the natural environment, both for the plants and the animals and the future humans that want to come check it out and enjoy it. If you're ever going to be more of a scout, if you're ever going to be more respectful of your environment and cleaning your outdoor manners and conservation minded, we ask that you please do that at Emerald Bay. Any piece of trash that ends up on the ground in camp is most likely going to end up in the ocean. Any water that we waste is not going to be able to be recuperated. We operate off of well water, natural well water on the island, and we will do that as long as we can. We have to be responsible in how we use it, because in between 2012 and 17 we ran out of water, and we were getting shipments of water to Emerald Bay. So please help us be conservation minded. I want that to be on the video. I want you to share it with your parents and your scouts. It's a theme, it's part of the education that we want to give, and it's also necessary for our future, being a scout camp on the west end of Catalina, where it is an arid desert. You'll also see on this sheet merit badge areas. That's just the first glimpse for leaders and scouts, so they know the general area where their merit badge may be once they sign up for it and start moving through camp as a new scout. Are there any questions about where camp is, or where things are in camp, or logistics about how to get around? Awesome. It's not very far from our main pier to our last campsite. Relatively, you might feel it's further than the 20th campsite is further than the first, but in fact none of our campsites are more than about 0.6 miles from the front of camp. So you'll walk your bag a little initially, but the campsites are not spread really throughout the grounds like some other camps. We'll move on to the next sheet, what to bring. And I won't read every individual item, but I do want to highlight some things that we recommend to make your stay easier, both as a unit and as an adult, so you can be comfortable and have what you need. First up on the top of the list, we talk about troop gear. You are welcome to bring troop gear for Scout Spirit, things like flags, both troop, patrol, and state flags, first aid kits, games, and whatever other supplies your troop normally uses. I'll say that with the caveat. If your troop cannot carry everything that you've brought in one load as a troop, you probably shouldn't bring some of it. The first example I'll give are patrol boxes. They are not necessary at camp. We're not going to turn you around and send you home if you bring it, but you're not going to be able to cook on your own in the backcountry. Just because it's conservation land, as we mentioned before, LA County Fire Department has a very strict no open fire policy. So bringing camping stoves, jet boils, barbecues, things like that, there is just no reason. We will stop you from using them if we see you lighting them up in camp, and we could get in trouble and be fined by the fire department if we let that happen. So patrol boxes, probably not very necessary at Emerald Bay. Flags, we want you to have Scout Spirit. We want your scouts to be able to rally around something. Our recommendation is bring the cloth, bring the flag, but don't bring the flag pole, because you're going to be traveling on a boat with 150 to 250 other people, and you're going to want to carry these things on and off a boat and up through camp. We have flag poles in every campsite, and we can even construct extra ones if we need it. What I'm trying to say is bring your troop gear, but try to make it less cumbersome or lighter so your troop can move in one go with everything that you bring. Definitely bring a first aid kit. Please don't misunderstand me. Bring a first aid kit and all the supplies you need, but you're not going to need your flag poles, you're not going to need axes, you're not going to need patrol boxes. Any questions there? Yeah.
Shovels and rakes and...
We'll have those tools that adults and older scouts can check out from our maintenance crew, so you won't need to bring them unless you plan to donate them to us. But we could talk about that later on. There's a couple of the next few areas here give recommendations on things to bring to make your troop more efficient or make your operation a little bit easier on the adult leaders and some of the scouts. I'm not going to read every item. Like I said before, I'm going to pick a couple to point out to you. Some of the most important things I see in advancement, Scoutmaster needs, and equipment are scout books. We are not personally going to sign off scout books for those scouts who sign up for the first year advancement program, but we do hope that they go to their leadership almost immediately, demonstrate those skills, and get their book signed off. So no scout's going to be turned away from camp because they don't have their book, but it's going to be hard if you have those new scouts doing trail to first class and there isn't a way to sign them off until you get home. With that said, we will provide a list of the requirements that they've gone over, but we do recommend you do that sooner than later so things are fresh and so they learn those skills. Everybody should have a way to take notes because a lot of the merit badge sessions we have a study aspect to them. There's a lot of science-based badges and things that will need to be presented or, if you will, repeated back to instructors. Notes are a good thing, and it would be better to write them than use like a tablet or a phone because the camp doesn't have a hard policy that scouts are not allowed to bring cell phones, although we do have a hard policy that they're not allowed to use them in the program areas. Whether they're taking photos or trying to communicate, we don't want smartphones on the waterfront and in the handicraft area when they're using tools, when they're around the water, because we don't want them to be stolen or broken, and we don't want them to be distractions. So as a unit, feel free to have your own policy. If you take the cell phones from your scouts, we will support you. If you leave the cell phones in the control of the scouts, we will support you. But we have a hard rule that they're not to be used in the program areas. And those areas are very clearly marked. The field sports area, the scoutcraft area, waterfront, handicraft, nature, etc. Just to be clear with that. Normal things, if you are a professional and you need to do some work while you're at camp, We can work with you. I can't guarantee we're going to be able to sell Wi-Fi like we wanted to in the past. It's been very difficult, but we do have PCs available for leaders and staff, and we can make exceptions for professionals who need internet or need communication for some sort of dire family need. Please approach me, Linnea, our camp clerk, or our commissioner when you're in camp, and we can be flexible there. The Scoutmaster Needs is one where I try to bring up some special concepts that we've learned as a camp, and my troop actually has learned over the past decades coming to Emerald Bay. The easiest way, if you have a troop with more than 10 or 12 scouts, to operate at Emerald Bay is to have an adult leader that's assigned to a particular duty to serve the scouts. Having one leader who's, for lack of better terms, a banker. Having another leader who's like the medical provider, maybe another one who has all the scout schedules and is the merit badge logistics person, and then maybe another is like a counselor role or a guide, or maybe you have Eagle Scouts who are coming as ASMs who can be out there doing badges and hustling kids around and whatnot. But the reason we say that is because then your scouts know who to go to when they need that $5 to go to the trading post, or they know who to go to and where they're going to be when they need to take their prescription. So it's really, really easy way, or it makes it easier, so you don't have one leader that's doing everything for these bigger units, or you don't have kids just scrambled running around looking for whomever. And with that, there was an assumption that a lot of troops collect cash and then divvy it out to scouts throughout the week. That's a great way to do it. It's not the only way. You don't have to do that. We do recommend that scouts bring over $50 to camp, somewhere in the ballpark really of 75 or more with inflation. That's the way that things are going. The most expensive programs that we have once scouts get to camp are the pottery program, the shotgun shooting merit badge, and some of the extra offerings like what we have through the waterfront with lifeguarding, sailing, and scuba. So again, I recommended probably around $75 or more. It's hard with a credit card or a debit card with scouts, so try to push your parents to give you or their scouts cash for camp. All right. As far as what to bring and everything down here at the bottom of this list, I'm going to just highlight, of course, we're scouts, we need our 10 essentials, but you can go pretty minimal on the rain gear. Don't bring the snowboard jacket, just bring the rain shell or the poncho. It could sprinkle, but you're not going to be excessively cold at Emerald Bay during the summer. I imagine that the weather, including the depth of the night, will be about 58 to 60, about 60 degrees up to about 92 degrees. So you won't really be cold in camp so much. Bring clothes you can layer. Don't bring huge wind-breaking jackets on top of your rain gear. It's super important to bring things to protect yourself from the sun though. Hats, sunglasses, sunscreen. Don't have scouts who anticipate being shirtless when they don't need to be. It's great, the idea of being on an island and getting a tan. You're going to get a tan just by participating in War Canoe and your merit badges. We don't want to see people intentionally tanning. We definitely want to tell our scouts, both male and female, to wear a t-shirt anytime they're not swimming, because it's going to protect them from the sun better than anything else could. Long sleeve white or gray shirts might come in handy as well. You'll see me wearing a baseball cap literally every single day at camp. And if they bring sunscreen, make sure they know how to use it. Spray containers, really thick zinc stuff. There's no sunscreen that's outlawed from Emerald Bay. Of course, we love the environment, so if you can spring for those special ones, go ahead. But as long as your scouts have something that will protect them, that's what's important to us. It will ruin their week if they get sunburned. Also, reusable water bottle is 100% necessary for the out of camp programming and just conservation and hydration. Cool. We do provide for those online or here who have never been to Emerald Bay. We have military style tents with a platform floor and 2 cots and mattresses in each. So scouts do not need a sleeping pad. Pro tip for leaders: bring a lightweight, small sleeping pad, because you're going to go to Parsons Beach for War Canoe and you're going to be expected to sleep on the ground. Please do not tell all of your scouts to bring a sleeping pad. Only your adults. The scouts will be fine and happy and comfortable on the sand with their friends at under the stars on War Canoe. But tell your leaders we can accommodate moving their sleeping pad if it's not some sort of ridiculous huge cot or full-size, blow up mattress. Bring a backpacking foam or small inflatable and we can accommodate. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and then as far as things to bring, ask me throughout if you think of anything that you might want or that you might be afraid to bring to camp. Go ahead and ask me. I'm going to move on to the next page of what to bring. Linnea is going to talk about our programs, the Rugged E, C, and T programs, and Barbara's going to talk about our Rugged S and O and R, the scuba programs. I'll briefly touch because I want you to hear it multiple times. If you're in Rugged C or Rugged E, you must look at this what to bring sheet. Please, if you're a leader and you're the only one that's gotten this Spring Leaders packet, make sure you give this sheet to scouts or leaders who are participating in the Rugged E, C, or T programs, Trek, Canoe, and Explorer, because they're going to be miserable if they don't have a mess kit, a large water bottle, and a dry bag or something like it. You don't have to have a dry bag, but if you don't, you're going to be using a trash bag and you're going to be ripping holes in it and your things are going to get messy and soaked. So please look at this what to bring list. If you're doing our Rugged E, C, or T programs, there's a couple of extra items that we really want you to bring. I mentioned water, dry bag, and mess kit, but also a small day pack is very, very helpful for everyone at Emerald Bay, but especially those rugged scouts. Not going to read you the whole not what to bring list, but I am going to mention a couple of weird ones so you know where we're coming from. We don't want water balloons because we don't want the pollution. We don't want the plastic on the ground. We don't want water guns because we don't want to waste water. We obviously don't want things like alcohol and all these kinds of things. Your own firearms are not permitted in the scout camp. We have plenty of 22s and 12 and 20 gauge shotguns. You're not going to want to bring big recreational items either. We've got plenty of stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, snorkel gear. If you have snorkel gear, if your family members and scouts have snorkel gear of their own, bring it, because it's theirs and it's intimate and they know how to use it. And we don't have one for everyone at every moment. But don't go out and buy a really fancy set before camp, because we do have some we can lend, and you will get those provided for if you're signed up for the week-long scuba programs. Anything else that's weird not to bring? Oh, like I mentioned before, stoves, fuel, and open fires are not permitted. So please don't plan to cook by yourself. Get in touch with Linnea or I so we can hook you up with the kitchen if you think there's some special needs that you need us to take care of. Continuing on, I mentioned mess kits already. Everyone needs a minimal mess kit because you need one for War Canoe. People doing the rugged programs need maybe a little bit more, but at the very least, everyone who comes to Emerald Bay should have a bowl or curved plate and one utensil, because at the very least you're going to have cold cut sandwiches, stew, and cobbler, and you're going to want at least a bowl and a spoon. That's the very minimum that you're going to need. Bring a whole kit with a bowl and a plate and fork, knife, and spoon if you can manage it, but at least you need some platform to eat from and one utensil. You can buy those things from us at our store, but we don't want to Shanghai you there. Please come out and prepared so you don't have to buy those things from us. Unit insurance has been getting easier and easier as we've gone along. Please just verify with your council that they've sent us the copy of insurance between councils. You will not need to bring this unit insurance in hand. We just need one representation from each council. If you're all in WLACC, you're all golden. But I know people online, and maybe a couple of you in here came from Greater or another area. We need insurance from your council. It's likely another troop is going to get it for us, but check in with them, check in with us before you go, and make sure that we have that on hand. It's just that secondary insurance that the council does provide. As far as I know, there's only one council in California that doesn't provide that insurance, and that is the Mount Diablo Council up in the San Francisco Bay Area. So if you're online and you're from that council, your troop will need to get an insurance policy to come to camp, but all other councils provide that for their troops at this point, as far as I know. Passenger manifest is simple, but it's got to be accurate. When you board the boat on Sunday to come to camp, we expect you to have a list of everyone who's coming with you. If somebody gets sick on Saturday night and doesn't come to camp, you got to mark their name off the list. The manifest has to be literally every soul that's on the boat, and it's a Coast Guard and state law situation. It's not something that Camp Emerald Bay needs, particularly once you've made it across the channel successfully. But please have that on paper, written, printed, however it is, with exactly the names of the scouts and leaders who are traveling to camp. We provide that on our website. If you need it and you can't find it, just email one of us and we'll send it over to you. But an Excel form with people's names and ages will do it. Our form asks for ethnicity, and again, it's just for safety on the boat in case there's an incident. There's no census happening. We're not going to be taking this information for any other reason. In fact, you'll probably keep this in your possession the whole time. Any questions about insurance or manifest? Excellent. Behind me on the projector and up on the screen for those of you on the internet, you'll see a very accurate schedule of departure times and dates for the entire summer program that we offer. The one that we had you print, the one that I printed, unfortunately we hadn't changed the departure dates from previous, so there might be a little confusion. This one's not good. Okay, so the live link that's on the website now has the correct information. We're using the PDF from before, I apologize, but the starting dates are correct and all the departure times are correct. It's just those departure dates from camp that reflect last year's days. So just know that you'll leave for camp on a Sunday from the mainland, and you will then leave Emerald Bay almost 1 week later, that following Saturday. And we will make sure that that updated information is on the website, but we don't want to confuse anyone there. Just wanted to let you know that we made that mistake. Excuse me. If you haven't been to Emerald Bay since before 2015, then some of the information I give you over the next few minutes is going to be a surprise, and it's going to, I promise you, it's a very positive change. In 2014, and for about 35 years before that, we used the Catalina Express Newport Flyer to bring upwards of 550 to 600 scouts and leaders to camp all in one boat. It waited on the mainland for about 4 to 5 hours before it was full with everyone, every individual as late as they wanted to be, and then the boat made its way across the channel, and then it sat in the middle of the ocean while shirtless staff members unloaded all of your gear into a floating luggage barge, and all of you loaded yourselves onto shore boats and got shuttled into the camp pier. Luckily, in 2015, we changed this. We've been using a different boat provider. They're called Harbor Breeze Cruises. They're incredibly flexible, and they have more than 4 vessels that they can allow us to use any given weekend, and each vessel holds 150 to 250 people. So the way this works is this 7:30 check-in time on your Sunday, whatever week you're coming, this 7:30 or 6:30 check-in time, that's a real time. Many troops will be so early that the first boat is going to leave before 7:30. Don't worry, that doesn't mean you're going to get left behind if you're there at 7:30 or 8. But 7:30 is a true check-in call time, and boats will load as troops are there and complete. We won't let 2 leaders or 90% of a troop onto a boat to go to camp. That troop has to be complete before it travels. But those boats will load and leave as they fill. And it's really fast and really efficient. These boats have clean bathrooms on them with running water. They have little snack bars. Some of them have flat screen TVs and couch sitting. So show up on time and complete with your troop, and you will be at camp probably in about 2 hours from when you arrive to that port in San Pedro. Additionally, the departure location shifted about a quarter mile, not even, from the Catalina Express terminal in San Pedro. The best place, the best area or address to give to your drivers and your parents for departure is the USS Battleship Iowa, the battleship USS Iowa. It is permanently right there in berth 87 in San Pedro, and they actually host the parking lot that we recommend that you use if you have to leave your vehicles long term. For all of you in Los Angeles, up to Ventura, even Santa Barbara, and down to San Diego, we probably recommend you carpool and don't leave cars, because they're going to charge you around $20 for a 24-hour period to leave your car. So we recommend the early morning carpool. It's going to be much more affordable for your families and much safer. Although, if you've got to leave your car in San Pedro, the USS Iowa parking lot is the best. It has fences, it has guards, it's pay for parking, and it's easy to access. There are other places in San Pedro you can leave your car for less or for free, but I cannot condone these, because you're taking a chance being down there. There's a lot of other business going on. There is a police presence, but I don't want to recommend from the Scouts to leave your car somewhere for free. It just might be a little bit too sketchy. The departure times are also very true there from camp. We give a spread there because we're actually going to be assigning what troops go on what boats for departure. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Sorry. The departure times from camp on Saturday morning are pretty real, although some troops are going to leave earlier than 10, especially those troops that want to get back to Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, wherever, Texas. We'll probably have some boats leaving as early as 8 or 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. That means with an hour and 20-minute travel, everyone's going to be back to the mainland probably. That's arrival to there we go. That makes sense. The arrival to San Pedro is going to be between about 10 and 11:30, 10 and 12. Same deal, except we'll assign your troop to boat 1, 2, 3, or 4, so there's not a big kerfuffle at the pier. I will be down there saying goodbye, assigning people to boats, and making sure everybody gets out of camp together. We will use a community gear moving method. If you've been to camp, you've done this before, where you've got to mark your bag with your troop information and ideally your own information as well, because you're going to put your own bag on the boat in San Pedro, but from that point on, someone else is going to help you move your bag. So if it doesn't say Troop 127 on it, then when they pick up the bag from the boat and bring it into camp, they're not going to know to put it in the Troop 127 pile. It's going to end up in the huge no-name pile at the flagpole, and your Scouts are going to be digging around for bags. So what we recommend are luggage tags or duct tape, maybe like unique duct tape, like with a duck on it or leopard print or cheeseburgers, and then the troop number at least. Having your information, of course, on luggage is very responsible, and it'll help us get things to you if you leave things behind. But you must mark your bags. If you're not going to keep it, if it's not a day pack or a fanny pack that you're going to keep on your person the whole time, you've got to mark it with the troop information so it ends up in the right gear piles. Lots of teamwork happening on those arrival and departure days. Do you have any questions about arrival, departure, logistics, timing, tips and tricks? I love it. Yeah.
If we have an adult that is leaving midweek, a different one coming, how does that work?
So it's difficult, but it's something that we do accommodate. The same form I mentioned earlier, the special request form, is the one that you've got to fill out. Even if you email Linnea or me and we promise you, yes, we'll hook you up, we're going to meet your leader, we're going to pick them up, please use the special request form for the following. We're actually on the right page here. So I flipped pages from the arrival, departure to required documents. I'll go back up to the top, but I want to finish your question. The special request form is super easy. It's a Google form. That way we don't lose your request. And it's for things like transportation requests, dietary needs, allergies, special medical needs, and campsite requests. If you've been coming to camp for 20 years and you want to go in the La Jolla campsite, or you want to go in the Del Mar campsite or Santa Barbara, you can use a special request form to ask us for that campsite. But more importantly, use it to ask us for transportation changes, dietary needs, allergies, and special medical needs. That way we can make sure that the right staff members have the info before you arrive. Barbara will talk about this a little bit later, but there's some, in addition to the medical form, the BSA medical form A, B, and C that everyone needs to come to camp, adults and youth, there is, so please, I want to note, everyone needs that, get it done. We will honor medical forms, medicals and physicals that were done as far as the same month you're traveling to camp 1 year ago. So if you got your physical on July 2nd of 2019 and you come to camp on July 20th of 2020, it's still good. But if you got it on July 2nd of 2019 and you come on August 2nd of 2020, you're not good. You need to get a new physical. So I just want to be clear with that. In addition to that physical that everyone needs, we highly recommend that while you're at the doctor, you get the RSTC PADI medical form filled out as well. It's a duplicate. It's super simple. They're not going to need to do much extra. But if your scout, whether they're previously planning to do scuba or it's a passion thing that happens because there's friends in camp did it or because they can't stand how much fun it looks like everybody's having and they want to try it out for an afternoon, they're not going to be able to scuba dive if they don't have that form filled out. So just have everybody fill it out, honestly. Those of you on the internet, you don't need this to come to Emerald Bay. We're not going to turn you away if you don't have it. But if you want to do anything with scuba, you need this form. You might as well fill it out when you go to the doctor. It's super simple. It's not going to cost any extra money. Just get it done and bring it with you. Yeah.
Does it also include the merit badge?
The scuba program, yes. It can. You don't have to do the merit badge, but if you're doing...
Doing that merit badge, you should get it.
Oh, yes. If you're going to be scuba diving, you need it.
Any scuba diving.
Any
not just
scuba.
PADI.
Any scuba, you need it. That will, and PADI is the organization that
Yeah.
supplies the certification that Malibu gives and that we use. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yep. In addition to those medical forms, and I hope I didn't confuse you, you need Boy Scout A, B, and C, and we highly recommend the scuba form. In addition to those, we've got release forms that everybody signs. It's cut and dry, super simple. They're on our website. We'll also email them to you directly. But there are the firearm release forms. 2 years ago, it got more complicated because we all live in California, and the National BSA need us to provide extra copies of this form. Please make copies of this firearm form that you sign for your kids. We need a bare minimum of 2 copies. National asks for 4. The intention of 4 copies is that 1 goes to our staff, 1 stays in the scout's pocket when they go up and shoot at the range, so the range masters know they're clear. 1 stays with the troop, and 1 stays with the troop's local council. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's why you end up making 4 copies. But if you bring 4 copies to us at Emerald Bay, we're only going to take 2 because your scout needs 1 and we need 1. The other ones are for you and your council. Just wanted to be clear there. No matter what, no scout is going to be able to shoot a firearm if they don't have this form in their pocket. So please make sure they fill it out and you have at least 2 copies. 4 is preferable. I mentioned before the special request form because it's a super easy way to turn in something to us so we don't forget it. We're not going to give you an immediate receipt saying, thank you so much, my name's Scott and I received this request, but we will be processing it through this springtime and it will be the best way to make sure you get your special request taken care of. Especially those of you that have leaders or scouts that have special physical or medical needs. We want to take care of you. We have a lot of passionate staff members that work in this field and that are passionate about accessibility and providing the same experience for every scout that comes to camp. Please don't hesitate. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. We've had vision impaired scouts earn rifle merit badge. We've had physically impaired scouts swim and take first aid and life saving. This is something we really care about. Please, nothing is too big or small. We've rented beach wheelchairs. We've borrowed them from other camps on the island. The staff from Emerald Bay and Malibu Divers are incredible at working with anyone with any adversity, so please don't hesitate. Feel good. In addition to that, I mentioned diets and allergies. Our kitchen is a nut-free facility. We still do sell things like Snicker bars and trail mix at our store in packages, but our kitchen is nut-free. So if you have those allergies, you shouldn't have to worry. But other unique allergies, please let us know. We provide a gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegetarian menu for those of you that give us information in advance. We can do that, no sweat. We do it every day. Anything more than that, you've really got to let us know. But as far as gluten-free, dairy-free, and veggie, just have to let us know the numbers. How many people in your troop need those accommodations?
A lot of camps have a table for peanut butter and jelly. Do you guys have that?
We do not have peanut butter anymore. I did when I was a youth staff and scout. We did, but it has gone away with airborne peanut allergy. We do provide fresh fruit and oatmeal 24/7 self-serve if you need a snack. So there's hot water, oatmeal packets, and fresh fruit all the time. And during the meals, in addition to the hot meal and the salad bar, we have taken up a leftover bar, a hot leftover bar, which helps serve like me and you guys who maybe don't want chicken nuggets for the meal and instead you'd prefer some special pasta that one of our guys whipped up, or a soup, or some leftovers from the previous day. So look out for that. It's the leftover luau bar, and it'll help you if you're hungry or if you don't like what we're serving that day. I live off of it. Cool. I love the pace. Thank you. Please ask any question that comes up. The next form, I switched to the adult leader resource form. This is not mandatory by any means. This is for those of you who have older scouts, or maybe not even your own youth in camp, but you've got some sort of skill, some sort of passion to help us. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what kind of things you can do, and we might put you to work. I can't guarantee we'll use you. I can't guarantee we won't use you, but the things that we find that we need the most are people to help us with like mechanic skills, plumbing, mechanics, and electricity, and also waterfront and shooting sports. It would be nice to maybe give one of our directors an hour off if you're a range master, or help us with supervision at Parsons or on the waterfront if you're a trained adult. So let us know if you have something special you'd like to present to the camp or to staff. Just reach out to one of us in camp. We love that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, this is not mandatory, but fill it out and bring it if you have parents that want to help us out in camp. I'm flipping to the next one, and I'm just going to introduce this program, and then I'm going to hand it over to Linnea, who's going to walk you through a lot of our ancillary, special, and new programs. I do want to take a minute. I tried to at our last meeting, but I don't think it came out correctly. I want to say that all of these programs have been either improved or are completely brand new in 2019 and 20, and I cannot take 1 ounce of credit. This woman, Linnea, is organized and motivated. She loves Emerald Bay and the Scouts, and honestly, we were able to add a sailing program, a lifeguard training program, an opportunity to visit Avalon, bird study merit badge, geocaching merit badge in a matter of 18 months. So I definitely want her to talk about these things, and it's really awesome to know that our camp, that I think is viewed as a special place in Scouts, is continuing to improve and push itself, and I definitely couldn't do it. It's definitely Linnea over here. Before I turn it over to her, I'm going to talk about the SPL program because I'm particularly passionate about it, and I think we've had a lot of success, a lot of kind of like small successes with this program over the years. This is also non-mandatory, but some scouters who have sent scouts in the past to do this program should support our theory that this is going to help your troop have a more seamless experience when they come to Emerald Bay. It is up front, it's $200 extra per person. We recommend that if you send a scout, you send a buddy with them, but you don't need to. They can come alone. We can accommodate with enough staff and other scouts in the program. You can send up to 4 from your unit if you have a big troop and you want scouts to be familiarized with camp and whatever else. But the SPL program is basically a leadership opportunity where we're training based on the and scouting values, but it's also an introduction to Emerald Bay. The SPLs who come to camp on Thursday afternoon instead of Sunday are going to assimilate with our young staff. They're going to learn where things are, who is in charge of what, so they know where to get help, and they're going to cook for themselves, do some leadership, and do some outdoor recreation. It's a really cool opportunity, and it's proven to be a great training ground for staff members, for us, because these scouts come in and meet everybody and realize that this is the direction they want to go in scouts. They want to come to a camp and continue to serve others. So I highly recommend it. No adults are necessary. Our adult staff member will meet your scouts in San Pedro at the Catalina Express terminal, where they're dropped off by their parents, and then they'll host them from that point all the way into camp and through the process. So SPL program, $200 per person, gets them used to Emerald Bay, gets them some more leadership experience, and just fun and connection with the staff.
And is that a different leaving time since it doesn't stay here?
That's right. The Catalina Express company has a flexible schedule that changes by season, so we can't guarantee the time at this moment. It's very likely going to be about a 2 p.m. departure that Thursday. But what we'll do, in case your parents ask, is we send our staff member, our SPL manager, over to San Pedro to have early lunch and sit there at the dock and wait for the kids to show up, so then he or she can host them the whole time into camp to catch that afternoon ferry. Did you?
So they need to be there by you said by 2 o'clock rather than the 12:30 then?
Let's leave 12:30 to be safe. My assumption is that it's going to be a 2 p.m. departure, but again, I can't guarantee it because the schedule is not out yet. My guess is it will be between 12:30 and 2:30. Yeah, that's for family planning. I think that's still a good time, depending on how far people are coming from. All right. Are there any questions so far on what I went over? I'm stoked to hand it off. I'm going to be back at the end of this meeting to talk to you about merit badge logistics and other broad questions. But at this point, I'm going to hand it off to Linnea to help talk to us about some unique programs, and then we'll have Barbara from Malibu Divers.
Awesome. Hi everybody, I'm Linnea. I'm the program director. I've been program director this will be my third summer, which is really exciting, but I've been out at camp since 2007 when I started as a counselor in training. So quite familiar with the different programs and the different areas that I've gotten to work, including our Rugged Adventures program. So Rugged Explorer is what you should see on the page in front of you. C is first. Sorry, Rugged Canoers. There it is. So the Rugged Canoer program, your crew or your troop will circumnavigate the entire island. So you'll start in Emerald Bay on Monday, and you'll go to Cat Harbor on the back side of 2 harbors on the first night. The second night you'll sleep in Little Harbor. The third night you'll actually end up in Avalon, which is the big bustling city of the island. So scouts get to enjoy their time there. They have a nice cooked meal not made by themselves, which is always enjoyable. And then they leave that place, Avalon, and they go to Rippers or Cabrillo, which is a boat-in only campsite. So they're the only people there, completely desolate. They don't have much there. And then they leave there and they canoe all the way back to camp on the final day, Friday, getting back to camp in time for campfire and a bunch of different activities that the crew will arrange for that day. Rugged Canoe, we stress that you have your own dry bag. Scott was mentioning it earlier. Rugged Canoe is the only program that we absolutely need you to have a dry bag. We don't stress it for War Canoe. We will truck your gear over for War Canoe, so you don't have to worry about a dry bag there. But please make sure your scouts have a dry bag for Rugged Canoe. Otherwise, their stuff will end up soaking wet. The age requirement is 14 years of age because we believe that that's the best age for the scouts who are more physically able and also mentally able. This is a completely exhausting journey. They're pushing their strengths, both physically canoeing on the same side of the boat or switching boats gets exhausting for all those miles, but it also is mentally draining to be out in the ocean with not much around you except for the island on one side as you're going around the whole way. Any questions with Rugged Canoe? Awesome. Rugged Explorers program, on the next page, is our more popular program. We typically have this program every single week of summer, compared to Rugged C, Rugged Canoer, which is just offered for the last 3 weeks typically. Rugged Explorers will generally be more filled with 8 to 20 participants or crew sizes within there. It's also stressed that you have 14-year-olds in this program and above because of the physical restraints. They're going to be canoeing, hiking, and biking. So the first day they start off on Monday, hiking up to Silver Peak, which is the tallest point on the west end of the island, and the third tallest point on the island altogether. They'll hike up there and then come back, stay in camp on Monday night. On Tuesday, they'll bike ride about 14 miles over to Little Harbor. They'll sleep there for the night and then bike back in the morning, sleep in camp on Wednesday, and then on Thursday they leave to the same boat-in only spot, Little Harbor, or Little Rivers or Cabrillo Beach, staying there for the night as well, canoeing back. So it's all tests of strength and endurance, again, mentally, physically, but we also focus a lot on leadership for both of these programs, growing the crews and having different leadership spots in there. Our next program, our Rugged T or Rugged Trek, was brand new last year, so we tested it in 2018 with our staff. 2019, Troop 99 from Las Vegas completed the first trek with their crew, who had also completed Rugged E and C in previous summers. And now we're ready to bring it out to everybody. So those who are interested, it's going to happen the first 3 weeks of summer. That's week 1, 2, and 3. Mainly based off of the weather, but also we want to test out the logistics behind everything. So Rugged T, they're going to be hiking the Trans-Catalina Trail, leaving Emerald Bay, hiking over to Two Harbors, and then all the way to Avalon, and then coming back. They have 3 stops between Two Harbors and Avalon, so they'll sleep in Little Harbor, and then at Blackjack, and then in Avalon for a night, and then they'll take a boat ride back from Avalon to Two Harbors, and then hike that last stretch back from there. So it's a big hike. You look at the number 38.5 and you're like, oh, easy, I can do that in one day. But it's a lot of elevation gain. So the minimum elevation gain is about 1,500 feet, where the maximum is about 2,300 feet. So it's a lot of up and down all in the same day. Most of the places you'll sleep on the beach, so you'll leave the beach in the morning, only to sleep again on the beach after covering a giant mountain. So we want to make sure everybody is ready for that one physically. We are working on the prerequisites for this program more specifically, but right now it does say that you complete Rugged E first. That's just so you have the introduction to the island, knowing that you understand kind of how it all works and the logistics behind the program as well. All right, any questions with our Rugged Adventurers program? Yeah.
So, am I reading it correctly? If they choose any of the rugged programs, we don't see them in camp. They're gone that whole time.
Yeah, so your scouts will be gone from Monday until Friday with Rugged C and Rugged T. The Rugged E, those participants will actually sleep in camp for some of the nights, but they'll be in their own high adventure based campsite, or the Rugged Adventurers campsite. So they'll be separate, doing their own programming. They won't be completing merit badges or traditional program at all. So when you register your scouts for these programs, make sure you register them in a totally separate registration through the Rugged program as opposed to the merit badge program.
So none of these would receive any merit badges.
That's correct.
And then if we had scouts that wanted to sign up with a friend for one of these, would they be in the same patrols or teams or however they're doing that?
Yeah, more likely than not, they'll be in the same group. Typically, the amount of participants that sign up are always together, so
Okay.
not generally separated.
So, because Rugged E is a requirement for Rugged T, if we can't do Rugged T, right? Unless
If we don't have any scouts that have ever been
If your
before.
scouts haven't done it yet, there's also, we're pretty flexible with it just because it is new. So if you've been to Philmont, if you have other pretty avid hiking, trekking crews, we can talk about that more separately offline. But yeah.
And if we do have scouts that want to participate in one of these, are leaders eligible to go with them, or is that all done just by your staff? Yeah,
leaders are more than welcome to join. We ask that you take more of a back seat in the leadership program behind it, so it's not disrupting from them learning, but you're more than welcome to participate if you'd like to. We do put the leaders through the exact same test as the scouts. So you have to pass a 2-mile run, and you have to pass the swim check to make sure that you're physically fit as well, just so it doesn't slow down the rest of the crew, so everyone's working together to complete it. And I saw your hand up over there. Did you get an answer?
For the rugged tea, they definitely need backpacking gear,
Yeah,
not duffel bags and that kind of stuff.
absolutely, yeah. They're going to be carrying all their own stuff the whole time. They're going to be carrying their food and everything throughout the whole week.
Nice.
We'll likely have a food drop in Little Harbor for them that second day, but more likely than not, they're going to have everything with them the whole time. So
What about the hike for rugged tea?
Ruggedy, they don't have to hike. They can have just a day bag.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
But- just with
you
water.
said one of the stops was Avalon.
One of the stops is Avalon for both Rugged T and C.
Will they be going in and exploring the town itself? So will they need cash for that, or?
Yeah. Yeah, recommended to bring cash for sure. But if they don't have it, we can work out food logistics behind that too. So
Yeah, the crew will decide if they want to like go have dinner somewhere. They will have food from camp to cook if that's the way it turns.
awesome. Any more on here? Anything popping up online, Scott? Are we good? Cool. Perfect. So then our next thing is our advanced sailing. Last year we became an American Sailing Association program. We expanded our merit badge program with small boat sailing and now offer the basic small boat sailing certification through ASA called ASA 110. We trained 5 of our staff members to become the 210 level instructors, and we're looking forward to seeing most of them come back this year. So it's a great program. It's a lot of fun. The Scouts learned a lot and really advanced their sailing skills a ton. The prereq for this course is that the Scouts are at least 13 years of age and older, and that they already have the small boat sailing merit badge. This is because it takes a lot of information and condenses it into the week, and we want to make sure that everybody is starting with the base knowledge from small boat sailing merit badge and then jumping into the boats as a secondary learner as opposed to the first time ever being out on the water. To take the small boat sailing merit badge, we have put some extra recommendations with it. We'll see that later when Scott talks about the merit badge requirements. Those are mainly just to make sure that we don't have any larger class sizes than boats available, but also to ensure that Scouts are most comfortable in the water as they can possibly be. So we do have swimming and life-saving as requirements for small boat sailing merit badge. And then again, small boat sailing merit badge is that requirement to get into this course. Adults are more than welcome to take this ASA course as well. They can be trained as sailors, and then with the certification you can sail all over the world. It's a globally recognized certification that people will be able to take this certification and rent out boats from different yacht clubs or different facilities around the world, which is a really cool concept. Our next 2 slides aren't actually inside your packet. It's a little flyer that we created, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it popped up on here. But we've got American Red Cross as well. So along with ASA, we became an American Red Cross school. So we have lifeguard and CPR training available. We teach it as a package deal. So if your Scout is interested in becoming lifeguard, they're also going to be CPR, first aid, and AED trained. The certification is good for 2 years, nationally recognized. So this is for Scouts who want more than just BSA Guard. We do offer BSA Guard at no additional cost, but American Red Cross Lifeguard will be $75 extra. So when your Scouts sign up, or if they're interested in it, you as that administrator signing up the double knot aspect will see a $75 fee straight added to your cart instantly. Same with ASA sailing. You'll see that $100 fee for the sailing program. So both of those are instant extra fees on top of the cost of coming. And then the third new thing or concept is our War Canoe alternative trip. So lots of Scouts that come to camp love War Canoe. They have a great time on it. But some have come so many years that they want to see something else, or others have different reasons for wanting to go to Avalon instead. And we partnered last year with the Catalina Coastal Tours, and they have 2 different boat options. So one is a 6-person boat and one is a 12-person boat. They can let us use both boats the same week or the same day as well, but up to 18 people can go on a trip to Avalon, replacing their day to go to War Canoe. So Signups for this will begin March 1st. It is the only thing that you'll find on our website that has a maximum occupant time, so the only thing that's first come, first serve. All of our other courses are based off of our recommendations. We don't cap the size classes, but there's a $75 in addition to, again, that cost of camp. We do ask that every troop that wants to sign up youth has at least one adult attending the group of youth coming. So if you have one youth, send another adult. If you have 6 youth, make sure you send an adult as well. But it's only up to 18 spaces. So we'll send a boat of 6 or we'll send a boat of 12. We want to try to max out on those spaces the best that we can, or 18 altogether. So when you register, you're going to see War Canoe replacement Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. At this point, nobody knows what day they're going on War Canoe. This will help us decide where your troop falls in place and where the War Canoe dates will be. But not too much to worry about on that side. That's going to be our logistics on the Thursday before you come to work or to camp. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If the Tuesday one is filled, you can try the Wednesday for your week. If that one's filled, try the Thursday. If that one's filled, then you've missed out on the program. But there's always next year. So those are those different specialty programs. And now Barbara should be ready to talk about our scuba programs. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
The programs, the trekking and Ready and Rugged Sea, those don't conflict at all with the patrol leader?
With the training for the SPL?
training for
No, you
SPL.
can send them out for SPL and then they can participate in High Adventure as well. Yeah, we find that our SPL program is best suited for the leaders who are going to lead your troop throughout the week, but they're more than welcome to go for that leadership program as well.
And then just a quick question on the sailing, the ASA sailing, does that take place instead of merit badge classes, or is that also like a full day, this is your whole program?
No, ASA will actually be just 3rd and 5th session, so it takes away the free time activities with the troop, but only one merit badge section. Yeah, awesome. Any other questions on that one?
And that one takes place at camp, so they're not going
At camp, in camp the whole time. Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Barbara, Gentile Query. I am the owner as well as a course director for Patty. And I also, just to let you know a little bit about my background, I've been on site literally helping with this program for the last several years. Malibu Divers has been a partner of this program for close to 20 years, maybe even over 20 years at this point. So we're very familiar with camp and what happens out there. I'm also a volunteer for the LA County Sheriff's Department. I'm on their search and recovery team. So safety is my middle name. And I'm also a citizen scientist, so I'm very familiar with the underwater marine habitat. And this program it is the largest scouting scuba program in the world. So the reason I say that, in the 9 weeks that are going on out there, we certify more scouts than anywhere else. So it's quite popular. It involves training for brand new people that want to learn to dive. How many divers do we have here? Everybody's a diver. If you're not a diver, this is a great place to try it and see if it's for you. Okay, so we have a small program that allows you to do that introductory session. And then it also allows you to then go on and come back and get certified next year and go on and do more and more training as part of that. And training is the key, because the more training you have, the more you're going to enjoy it, the more you're going to learn about the underwater environment. Maybe someday you'll come ask me about having some of your scouts come work for the program. So I have a crew of about 14 people out there, instructors and dive masters and administrative assistants, and we work really hard for you. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about the diving. So the next slide. Will you change the slides for me? Yeah. Cool. So I have a couple of videos to show you because it's all about the diving. There's over 1 million dives made in Southern California alone every year. Okay, so it's considered one of the top 10 dive destinations in the world, and it's amazing what's down there. I've been diving there for over 30 years. You've seen this slide to start with, when Scott and Linnea were talking, and this is a direct picture of Doctor's Cove, but I'm going to also show you some of the underwater habitats. Hold on, hold that thought, right? So this is an actual video, if we can see it. That's a hole in the sand, and there's a leopard shark. So every year I go out and do a bunch of dives as well, and I'm still seeing things I've never seen in 30 years. So our habitat is changing. Good news, bad news. This is also an interesting part of the diving, is that it's a pebble beach. So, and this is a beautiful picture of the reef system. You can see there are some stairs, 21 or 22 steps exactly. I count them every time I go up and down. That's the hardest part of getting down and up. But if you're used to carrying a heavy backpack, just about anybody can do it. It's about 100 yards from the dive locker to there. This is a giant sea bass. It's over 6 foot long fish. It's like a big puppy dog. Super fun to see them. As you can tell, the visibility on this particular day is amazing, right? So it really varies depending upon the weather and conditions. So lots and lots to see. You know, the big thing about scuba is you never know exactly what you're going to see on any given day, right? So we also had the opportunity to offer programs to some of our more physically challenged scouts. So with enough notice, please use that request form or email us directly if you have someone in your troop that might be eligible for doing this program. I want to make sure we have time to do it and the right people on hand. So there's opportunity to do that as well. Let us know. And Scott had mentioned about the medical. It's super important. Everyone, scouts, leaders, sometimes the adults show up and they go, "We don't need a medical for me." I'm like, yes, I do. Everyone needs a medical. Okay, this is a butterfly bat ray. A butterfly ray, I should say. It's not very common to see them. We're starting to see them. We've seen them in the last 2 years. Super cool. You know, again, I've only seen them in the last 2 years. They're generally over 100 feet deep. This one was about 20 feet deep. So super fun to be able to see these kinds of things. What else? Just a couple other videos to talk about.
What is the time commitment for this?
So if you want to try scuba diving, let me just point out, this is an octopus. It's a beautiful, because the water is so clean and because it's a good habitat, it's an invertebrate protected area. So we have lots of octopus, which is pretty cool. This guy does a little disappearing act. So the time commitment for somebody who just wants to try scuba is generally about 2 and 2.5 hours. So we offer it usually 2 times a day between breakfast and lunch. It's called Scuba BSA, or otherwise known as Discover Scuba Diving. It's not a certification program, but it allows them to have the opportunity to try it. And we provide all of the training, all of the gear, everything for it. They must have a medical release form. So please take that with you when you do your ABCs. Some of the beautiful kelp forests just around the corner. The kelp's really coming back. It's beautiful. We have a kelp diver specialty you'll hear me talk about. And then of course our lovely bat rays. We have a couple of weeks during the summer. We can never know exactly when they're going to come in and visit us, but they're super tame. And we have a few sea lions too. We call this one Timothy. So we name everything. We have Eli the eel and haven't named the leopard sharks. So we've had researchers come out and study the life that's right in the area where we're diving. So you know it's special, right? There are things that we get to see on this part of Catalina Island that are nowhere else on the island. So that tells you even more, okay? We do have fun as a crew. So, you know, we're all about safety, but I just want to emphasize that, you know, if you're not having fun, we're doing something wrong. So we do not include BSA snorkeling. We have that as an option for you. We do not do the program BSA swimming. That's part of your scuba merit badge. So I recommend you get that done before you come to camp. Okay, it won't stop you from participating in the merit badge if you're doing scuba merit badge, but it's something it's nice to have done. Okay, so any questions at this point?
For just the try-in one, is there additional cost for
Yes,
that?
there is, and it's $125, and you can sign up directly with us before you come to camp. One of the most common questions I get is, when will they do it? I'm like, sometime between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner. There's 4 times a day usually it's offered. So when you come to camp, the first thing you'll do is come in and check in with us, bring your schedule, and we'll sign you up on the schedule for a time that works for your schedule. So I encourage you to do that one of the first things you do on Sunday or Monday, so that you're in the plan. Okay?
Would we sign up a group of scouts?
Yeah,
Or
if
so?
you'd like, yeah, if that works for you.
What's the limit of how many scouts at a time you accommodate?
I would tell you the smaller the group, the better, because when you get so many people underwater, it's not, we've taken groups of 8 to 10 to 12. I don't recommend that. I would say a group of 4 to 6 max. 4 is a nice number, you know, so set up yourself with a couple of groups of 4 if you have more than that many, right? And then certainly please sign up in advance, especially if you have groups, okay? Don't wait to when you come to camp.
And so you said it's between the breakfast and lunch time. Is that during merit badge time as well? So do they skip part of their class time?
You have to figure out when you have merit badges and when you don't. If the most popular time that people want to do it is usually in free time, and that time fills up really quickly in the afternoons. So unless you're willing to miss a merit badge opportunity in the morning, you're gonna be
So you'll have some that are also after lunch or whatever during free time.
right. And those, like I said, fill up by Sunday, Monday. Sometimes they're full. Okay. So we'll go to the next slide. All right, any other questions? Nothing. So, I'm waiting on you. So I am always looking for talent. One of the other questions I get frequently is, I'm a scuba instructor, I'm a dive master, can I help with, and then even adults want to come and help. Due to the rules at camp and because of insurance, we cannot use you, I'm sorry, you know, it's a legal liability type of issue, right? So we love the offers of help. If you want to help sweep the floor and keep the gear clean, we'll put you to work. But as far as the actual administering the programs, we can't do that, so I apologize for that. If you have your own snorkeling gear and you know it works and you like it, you should bring it. However, during the Rugged Scuba program, you are going to be issued your own set of snorkeling gear, mask, snorkel fins, booties, gloves, okay, and a gear bag. So we're going to get your height, weight, and shoe size. We're going to get a photo too, like a passport photo. All of this will be communicated to your Rugged Scuba scouts and leaders that are taking the Rugged Scuba program. All right, so do not go out and buy stuff if you don't have it, you know. And if you want to upgrade it, you can talk to us and email us directly. All of the Rugged Scuba programs, just a reminder, you're going to be signing up directly with Camp Emerald Bay. Okay, when you are in the Rugged Scuba program, you are going to be going all week with us. You're going to be with us. If you're already certified and you have scouts in your troop that are getting certified and you want to be with them, we don't recommend that, you know, unless there's a particular circumstance where you really feel like, you know, you want to repeat the course, because we're going to make you do all the same things they do, and you might be taking up a opening for a scout. So I recommend that you do Rugged O, which is the advanced course. You'll be with them at the same time in the water in the same area, and you can still be on hand and watch them and facilitate them being there on time and those kinds of things. So if you have questions about that, if you're already certified, please just email me, or that's probably the best way to get a hold of me right now.
For scouts already certified, do they have to pay for the scuba merit badge portion?
No, there is no charge for the scuba merit badge. portion of that program. Just make sure you bring your certification card with you or proof of certification. Please don't make me look it up. Please don't send me paperwork in advance. Don't send me anything in advance. Bring it with you. Okay. Can you go to my slides? Flip ahead. Okay, so I just want to talk quickly through the Rugged Scuba program. There is 3 components to the Rugged Scuba program: class or academics. That you're going to get issued an online access pass. Again, this is the week-long program. This is what the scouts go on and do their scuba merit badge with. It's called Rugged Scuba. In the dive industry, it's called PADI Open Water. It is the beginning program. You're going to get issued those passes somewhere in the April-May timeframe. So, and you will make sure your scouts and leaders complete all of their online training before they get to camp. Let me repeat that. Complete all of your online training. That will take 8 to 12 hours. Okay? You're going to respond to emails from us because we're going to get height, weight, and shoe size. We're going to make sure we're ordering gear that's going to fit your scouts. Do your best to estimate sizing. I know people grow, so we always have extra. So once you do that, at the end of your online program, there's a report that they're going to print out and bring with them to camp. It shows that they did their online education and their final exam. And we'll collect that on Sunday when they come in. We'll also review that material with them in a classroom-like setting. They'll get issued their soft gear, their snorkeling gear. We'll probably get in and do swim tests, float tests, all that kind of stuff. Give you a tour of the dive locker and what have you. Okay, so next slide. Once they get to camp, after they've done those things, we'll start doing your training. It's called Confined Water, where they learn to do their first skills. So there is no pool at camp. So they'll be in full-on 7mm suits with their snorkeling gear, their scuba gear, and we'll start their training about how to use all of this and how to dive, all the good foundational skills. So from there, they will then do their first open water dives, and usually they're diving Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day after breakfast to lunchtime, and then after lunchtime to a little before dinner time. Okay, so it's super important they're well when they get to camp. Yeah, so health is super important, and then they must get enough rest and that kind of thing. Okay, so they may be done as early as Wednesday, just so you know. Some kids take to it right away. Other kids might take all the way till Friday. So we work one-on-one with any scouts or leaders that might need some extra attention. So that's what we're there for. All right. So if they get done early and they want to do additional scuba diving or programs, we at least have a fun dive every day. If they don't want to dive anymore, that's okay. They can do other things, but they must complete their program. Yeah. I'm sure that's what you sent them there for. So, and then they can also upgrade to other programs. So if there are other programs they upgrade to, obviously there's additional costs. Okay. So that's pretty much the Rugged Scuba program. I am going to talk about the Rugged O program, and that's the advanced open water course. That's if you're already certified. There's generally 5 or 6 dives that are required. They again start on Sunday. Again, they have online training. We do not issue them their own personal snorkeling gear to keep, right? You're expected as a diver, you probably already have a snorkeling package. I would highly recommend that they bring that with them because they're going to be dedicated again for a week long of scuba diving in Rugged O. So we have snorkeling gear at camp, but it's probably not going to fit them exactly like what they own. So I highly recommend they bring their own. If they don't, we'll do our best to outfit them while they're there. So we'll immediately start going through some of the academic reviews when they arrive, collect paperwork, and then schedule their dives throughout the week. Okay, so it is advanced level training. You must, this is one thing I want to emphasize, is if you're in the rugged scuba programs, rugged S, rugged O, rugged R, you must be at least 12 years of age. If you're already certified in a Scouts 11, going on 12, and they want to come to camp to dive, please come see me. I don't have a problem with it, but I do have to make sure I understand, because there are certain rules with under 12-year-olds. But it's a firm rule, National Boy Scout rule, that the rugged programs are at 12 years and up. Okay? Any questions on that? All right, so Rugged O, again, a whole series of programs. We have full face masks, we have search and recovery, we have navigation dives, we have peak performance buoyancy. We may go do a fun dive over to Indian Rock. So that's pretty cool, and take the kayaks over or something. So we do have to do some coordination in terms of like what people want to do. There's some optional dives that they'll be able to participate in. All right, so that's Rugged O, or PADI Advance. And then the next program is Rugged R, and that's Rescue Program. It's gaining more and more popularity. It's the next level in training. It teaches divers for the first time to really be aware of other people that might need their assistance. We recommend this program because if you're diving with someone, you want to know the right things to do, not just react. So we again have its own e-learning or online training program that'll be completed before they get there. Review that with them, and then we schedule dives and rescue scenarios and things like that while at camp. Okay, we also include CPR and first aid as part of that class. Again, it's a great program in terms of the CPR and first aid itself, and it gets incorporated into the rescue scenarios. Okay, if we have the chance to, we might try to arrange for a visit. Catalina Hyperbaric Chamber is over in Two Harbors. It kind of depends upon demand and availability of boats and what have you, but it's a nice opportunity to do that as well. So that's optional. So those are the 3 rugged programs that we offer. Again, you sign up directly with camp for registration for that, and there's an online training program that must be completed before you come to camp. If you're not PADI open water, let's say you're NAUI or SSI, that's fine. You can take a PADI course. So it's legit. I just need that certification information up front when you register. Okay? Any questions?
The one where you said that they get to try the snorkeling, the $125 one, is that Scuba BSA?
Yes.
Is there an online component with that?
No. No.
So
All
they
of
can
that.
show up with just the ability to swim.
Yes. Okay, and they don't have to be a great swimmer. I've even had people who were not very good swimmers that did that program, and they did great diving. Okay, they should be comfortable in the water, at least. So if they're already certified and they're not in the rugged programs, they're doing other things at camp. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Discover Local Diving. That's just guided dives. We do a checkout dive always to start, and then you can do other dives. You can do more guided dives. You can sign up for Kelp Diver. Kelp Diver is a specialty I wrote. It's the only place in the world that you can take Kelp Diver specialty. It's a PADI specialty. It counts towards Master Scuba Diver. We also have another one I wrote last year called Abalone Diver, which is pretty cool. Abalone, you guys may know if you've been around for a while, big abalone shells. Because it's an invertebrate protected area, we have lots and lots of them inside the cove. It's pretty cool. So you learn everything about abalone, you learn how to measure them, how to ID them, so forth. You're not allowed to take them, but it's super fun. And abalone are going extinct, so from the wild. So it's a very educational program as well in terms of all of that. Okay, so if you're an open water diver and you want to do guided dives, again, bring your certification card. I know you may be busy and packing a lot already, so I would say at the very least just bring your mask and snorkel, because those are pretty easy to pack. I understand boots and fins get to be kind of bulky, so we'll accommodate that, but masks and snorkels are usually a good thing to bring. If you have a dive computer, bring that as well. So we do offer that program as well throughout the day, usually twice after breakfast and twice after lunch. Okay, you must be able to do a daytime checkout dive before you can do any night diving. Night diving, as you saw from a couple of my videos, is one of the hallmarks of the location as well. So we have an amazing underwater environment at night there with a lot of bioluminescence and octopus and rays and all kinds of stuff. Next. What else? Any questions?
Yeah, you've got a question from
Yeah.
Ragged O. Is there a minimum number of dives they have to complete before they sign up for Ragged O?
No, they just must be a certified open water diver of a major agency, like PADI, now ASSI. Okay? When they get there, if they haven't dove, one of the first things that we do, other than collecting the paperwork and the releases, is that we do a checkout dive. So sometimes, if all the diving you've ever done is in warm water, the first time you're in a 7 mil wetsuit, you know, you might want to wear a hood and gloves. So getting comfortable with your gear, that's why we do that checkout dive, right? Which brings up a good point. If you really need a tune-up, I would recommend that you let us know and you sign up with us in advance. How do you know you need a tune-up? You know if you need a tune-up usually, right? If you don't even remember what part of what goes on a tank, we're going to know you need a tune-up. We expect you to know how to put your gear together and some of the basic things like breathing and kicking your feet, yeah? So I recommend a tune-up if you really feel very rusty. We'll knock the rust off and get you tuned up, okay? But usually with Ragged O, we go slow enough on that checkout dive, we can do those kind of refresher things. Okay, this is a couple of listing of other specialty dives that we offer. Shark awareness is another one that's super important. You might have seen in one of the videos one of the little sharks that we have there. We don't see any big sharks, so if we did, we'd be pretty excited about it. But it makes you aware of how to find the little ones and why we don't see the big ones anymore. So again, it's a very educational program. Pirate Diver is another program that's unique to Camp Emerald Bay. It's open to open water divers as well. It's a series of 2 dives. That's what these numbers mean on the slides. So how many dives are in each specialty. And they learn all about pirates, the history of pirates, including pirates off of Catalina Island. And they get the opportunity to work with a buddy to find a treasure underwater and learn how to open it and everything. So full face mask, pretty unique as well. And then kelp diver I already mentioned, and abalone diver. I'm probably going to add another specialty before this summer. It's going to have to do with shooting GoPros underwater. So if you're an avid GoPro diver and have a housing and all of that, then that may be the program for you. So if you don't, I probably will have some rentals and others for sale at camp. Okay, so look for a GoPro specialty before the summer. Peak performance buoyancy, I mentioned night diving, digital photo and video, similar program if you have a camera or if you want to use one of ours. Navigation, great to know which way you're going. Deep, by the way, is only for 15 and above. So you must already be an advanced diver in order to do the deep specialty. And then WARE Fish ID, Project Aware, EFR, and more. So if there's something that you're looking for that you don't see on this list, don't assume I don't do it, because we probably do. Okay? These have just been the most popular ones over the years. Questions? Anything? Okay, next. Full face mask, yes, super fun. It's probably one of our most popular ones. So, Scuba BSA is the introductory program I told you about. Discover snorkeling. Again, if you really want to try to fit that into the schedule, again, we don't do that often, but we usually offer a nighttime snorkeling program. but I'm not going to take someone into a night snorkeling situation unless they've done a daytime program. So I want to make you aware of, if you do the introductory program, the Scuba BSA, Discover Snorkeling at Night is available to you. And that's a super fun thing to do as a troop as well. We give them buddy teams, share a light, and they get to see the bioluminescence and go at night, and it's very exciting.
And then there's an additional cost for the night one as well?
Correct. Okay. So all of the non-rugged programs, Scuba BSA, DLDs, the guided diving, the Discover Snorkeling, all of that's up on our website. So if you go to MalibuDivers.com, you'll see a page that looks like this. And if you try to sign up for rugged programs, it takes you to the Camp Emerald Bay page. Okay? But if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a listing of all the specialties and all the programs that I mentioned here. And you can certainly always contact us. I've also included a FAQ page. So, you know, a lot of times scouts, leaders, and people will email me, and I will add your question up to the FAQs. So please check out the FAQ list. It's a little bit higher right there. Yeah. So, and they have these little drop-down boxes that shows you the questions and then the answers. All right. So I probably answered it before. Okay.
Then can I ask a question that you might have answered already? So that they do the trial one, then they can do is it the night diver specialty?
No.
Oh, it's a different night dive.
No, you must be certified to do the
that.
specialties.
Okay, so
yeah.
if it's not a specialty, it's just a one night.
So if they're not
Diving.
certified,
Right.
they cannot dive at night.
Oh, okay. I thought you said if they did the trial.
They could do the trial, Scuba BSA, they can do the night snorkeling.
night snorkel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no night diving for uncertified divers. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay. Other
Sorry,
questions?
what is the cost for that night snorkel?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's definitely on the page. Sorry. It's not very expensive.
Certification with merit badge as well?
For the scuba, for the PADI open water rugged scuba, yes. Yeah.
Is that the price? Somebody said it was $1,200.
So for camp and the scuba program and all the gear that they get to keep, yeah, that's correct. So the scuba merit badge, by the way, you know, is usually like on Thursday afternoon or maybe Friday afternoon, depending upon when they're finishing their class. And one of the things that they're asked to do is to write a brief essay on a profession in the scuba industry or in the dive industry. If they want to get a jump on it, they know they're going to be in the Rugged S program, they can write that ahead of time before they get to camp. Yeah. And then there's a presentation and they get issued their blue cards at that point. Okay. They also get nice neckerchiefs that camp provide for each of the rugged programs. Questions? Okay. So back to my slides. Trying to think what else. If you have any questions, please contact me. If you go to the, yeah. Just want to mention that I'm always looking for new pros. In order to go pro, they must be at a certain level of training and maturity and safety. I still have some openings for this summer for both administrative assistants. Those are non-pro positions, usually 16, 17-year-old scouts that are mature enough to work hard and play hard. So if you're interested in that, or you have a scout that's interested in working this summer and spending all summer out of camp. And then the pro positions, they must be 18 years old, and again, lots of experience. We train them before camp even starts, and then they're out there the entire summer with very little exception. So we have a very dedicated team of people out there, and it's a very competitive position. There's only so many slots, and it's filling quickly. So if not this year, then 2021. Okay. Both Girl Scouts as well as Boys and Scouts. Okay? Any questions on that? Lots of rugged programs. Don't forget about Rugged Rescue if you're already advanced. The specialties, Abalone Diver, GoPro Diver, if you need a tune-up, and if you're interested in being a team member. Okay. And just to remind you, you know, we've been doing this a long time, so please just ask us any questions. If you have any suggestions, that's what we're here to do. We have lots and lots of people on staff with lots of experience, myself included. So I work with the pros quite a bit on career planning and making sure that they're understanding where they're going to go. A lot of people come through our programs, go on to do marine biology in college, or they're in the middle of doing their master's in marine biology. You know, we help them with their next steps in that path. Okay. So, you know, that's why we're here, to mentor people and help them grow in this industry. I don't really have much else. If you have any questions, please email me. You know, I'm happy to talk to you. So don't forget to sign up with Camp Emerald Bay for the rugged programs. If it's a non-rugged program, you sign up directly with Malibu Divers. You can call us or email us or go right to the website. There's lots of paperwork for scuba. We will send you all of the links and releases. Number one release you must have and take with your ABCs is your medical release for all participants, whether you think you're going to do it or not. And, you know, if you're in the rugged programs, don't wait till the last minute to do your online training. Because if you get to camp, it's going to be much harder to do it at camp and finish it. And we won't allow you to continue on in the program until it's done. Other questions? All right, cool. Let's go diving.
Thank you. So I don't want to take too much time in a transition, but I do want to reiterate a couple of things that Barbara said, and also just kind of throw my hat on the support wagon. When I was a teenager, I got my open water certification with Malibu Divers in 2001. I then got my advanced certification with Malibu Divers in 2011 and my rescue certification with them in 2015. The program has an immaculate safety record. We have had the pleasure of doing business with them for about 22 years now. So, you know, Barbara and Carter have outlasted quite a few of our wonderful camp directors, and the program that they do really stands up, I think, to anything across the country or even PADI. As she mentioned, we'll certify somewhere between 250 and 300 people with full PADI certifications just this coming summer. So it's a really awesome opportunity. And the last thing I want to say is that it is probably one of the best deals you can get in the scuba industry as well. Most scouts will pay in the ballpark of $650 to $750 to come to Emerald Bay. The total cost for a scuba diver for a full week program is $1,200. That means that for about $500, you're getting a full PADI open water certification. You're getting about $300 worth of gear, and you're getting a very unique diving experience and a very mature and also engaging instructor. They do a really good job. So this program should sell out every year. It does most years, and I am a customer of theirs and a very happy partner. So just wanted to reiterate that what they do is incredible. We get incredible feedback from our scouts about their instructors every summer. So make sure if there's interest, even just interest, that you fill out that medical form and sign up pretty soon. That's probably the program that's more likely to sell out sooner than anything else that we offer, the open water program, that basic PADI certification. All right. I am going to transition and talk more about the traditional merit badge program here, and there is some detail that I want to go over. I again welcome your questions throughout this process. Those of you online, make sure you're talking to Linnea. She's on there answering questions now. There will be less typos because it's her instead of me. But we'll start with the paperwork, the merit badge registration sheet in the packet that you have. First off, maybe a reminder to most of you, we don't use traditional blue cards at Emerald Bay for any merit badge other than scuba. So if you're getting the scuba merit badge, we'll give you a blue card in camp. Don't worry. Otherwise, you don't need a blue card. We're going to use the double knot system, and we're going to digitally keep track of all your individual requirements and your completed merit badges. Give them to you, your troop, and your council after the week is over. So that's all done based on how you've already added your scouts into the registration program. The reason you've put individual names and information about each scout is because eventually we're going to tie their merit badge signups, their merit badges to that, and then how much of them are completed or not completed. So it's all has a use. Please don't blow through that part of it because it's necessary for the advancement. And then we're going to go through the next 4 pages that all are meant to help you in the springtime to prepare, to help your scouts and help your troops prepare for the merit badge program. So if you flip to the next page, it's the merit badge difficulty chart. And we have basically broken down all the merit badges we offer into levels 1 through 4. Keep in mind that some of these merit badges are difficult because you have to be physically strong enough to do them, and some of them are difficult because you have to have a particular study habit. So we've separated some of those with 3A and 3B, but you also can make your own judgment on why we're deciding by the title of the merit badge. But either way, we recommend level 1 to any scout age, and any scout who's older can obviously do these level 1 and 2 merit badges if they don't have them. They're fun, they're crafty, they're an introduction to a new subject. Go ahead and do it. But this is kind of a minimum recommendation. So check out these classes as we've split them between levels 1 through 4. And notice specifically merit badges like environmental science and oceanography in the level 3. Those are difficult classes. Those are classes where scouts are going to need to have motivation and study skills. They might have to write a small essay. They might have to do a little homework assignment, or even address the class in kind of a public speaking requirement. So just look into that. Those merit badges are there because of that. Things like small boat sailing and life saving are going to require that that those scouts are physically strong enough and comfortable enough in the water to participate in everything necessary to get those signed off. Then our level 4 classes are truly all very difficult because they require a combination of it all. The shooting sports merit badges tend to be impacted. People like to take those, but they are not easy. They're some of the only merit badges where you actually have to complete a skills test. You have to actually fit a certain amount of bullets within the size of a quarter. You have to actually hit a real score with your archery targets. So those things will keep some scouts from completing the merit badges, but our staff will do everything they can to provide time and equipment to get that done. Just keep that in mind. Newer scouts going into those merit badges might leave with a partial, and that's okay, but we will provide time to work on that. Yeah.
And if they have a partial coming in, can they complete it here in free time?
Totally. Yes, totally. The fifth session free time is open for shooting at all the ranges, and have merit badge scouts and partial scouts approach our range safety officers and see what can be done. Yeah.
Strict on the age, 14 for like
So
archery and
keep in mind these are recommendations. We're not changing the requirement for the badge. If your scout is like already doing archery and they know what they're going to do, and it's an 11 or 12-year-old, they'll be able to do it. This is our attempt to make sure that the people who get into the class actually can have a better chance to complete it, and that those older scouts who may not have a chance to come back to camp again get that spot in the class. But either way, these are just recommendations.
I was just asking because my son did rifle shooting at one. A couple of them passed.
Yeah.
A couple that had partials.
Right.
Older scouts.
Yeah, it's a warning.
I
And
don't want to go back and tell them no, that they can't, that they're being strict on age and
no, we're not going to kick them out of the registration, but we're just giving them a hard recommendation.
I would suggest that it's really for the adults that are helping them select their classes.
Right.
To be able to recommend.
Springtime recommendation. That's exactly what this
like
is.
they told
Yeah.
us shotgun at Shawanaki, they had to be older, but the rifle was fine for the younger.
And we'll allow younger scouts to do shotgun. We might let them use a 20 gauge instead of a 12. Our guys will be flexible up there, but yeah, just use this as a guideline in planning.
I didn't like shotgun. We'll see. It's gonna take probably a year before I get them back.
Right on. I flipped the page, but feel free to ask questions about the merit badge levels throughout this whole merit badge part. The prerequisite form is really self-explanatory. These are requirements. This represents requirements that we are not going to do at Emerald Bay. So if a scout has done them before, they fill this out and bring it in, and they'll leave Emerald Bay with a complete merit badge. If they haven't done these things before, that's okay. They don't need this form. They don't need to have done it before. They're just going to leave with a partial. And again, that is okay. It's not incredibly difficult to finish it up at your next camp next year or to go see a counselor. But I just wanted to reiterate, if they've done the requirement, please Scouts honor here, right? If they've done the requirement, they fill out this form, bring it in, and get a complete merit badge at the end of the week. But if they haven't done it, they can do it later. It's not the end of the world. So that's what this form's function is, to represent things that are done before camp so we can give a complete merit badge. If that's not the case, then they'll get the complete merit badge later on.
That's just for those 5.
Yeah, and
those
only
are the only things with prerequisites.
those are the only things that you can't earn, do everything at Emerald Bay. That we can't guarantee that you're going to complete everything at Emerald Bay. We do offer merit badges for earn. We do not give merit badges, but this represents the only ones with things that we don't offer in camp. Yeah.
We have a girls VSA troop. This will be their first summer camp. If the camping night requirement is completed by the end of summer camp, those nights can be counted as part of it. So it wouldn't be a prerequisite.
But have a leader sign that form so the merit badge counselor can confidently sign it off. Yeah. So and include the Emerald Bay dates. Yep.
Okay.
Definitely, that is possible. It is a good question. Also, lots of people do that.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't have to be just a girls troop that
Yeah.
is their first one. It could be any troop that has some scout that makes that requirement.
Yeah, totally. That will happen a lot, actually. That's quite normal. Again, feel free to ask questions about prerequisites, but I'm going to move to the next page.
Sorry,
Yeah,
one
that's
last
okay.
thing was, I know you talked about doing the essay ahead of time. A few years ago, we had the kids doing the oceanography that were up until like midnight writing their oceanography essays. Can they prepare that in advance as well? I know
Totally.
it's not a prerequisite, but they can show up with a typed
Oh, yeah.
again on their honor that they did it themselves.
If any scout can get their hands on a merit badge book or meritbadge.org, look through the requirements and prep all they want. That's only going to make it better.
Okay.
Yep.
You have to be right in it on that.
Yeah. We've got some. We've got them digitally. We've got them printed. Please. Yeah, that's a great idea, especially with oceanography.
Yeah, and for some of our kids, that was really a struggle just trying to come up with those words in that short amount of time for them. So.
Yeah, that's perfect. The next sheet for prerequisites is just kind of a reminder that there's no way your scouts are going to shoot unless we get these shooting forms. They've got to have the form in their pocket, and these things have to be planned in advance. The laws are different here in California, and we have gone through hoops. We've done a lot of work. We've applied for an FFL. We've done all kinds of things to continue to provide firearms to the scouting program at Emerald Bay and Whitson and Josepho. But it's not easy, and it still definitely requires that you have these forms. Adults also need these forms. Please sign them and bring them to camp, but you can sign your own form and put it in your pocket when you're there. That's okay if you make a mistake. But with the scouts, it's a lot harder if their parent's not in camp. So please get those forms signed and printed before you come out, and be prepared. I mentioned this before, but the only shooting sports badge that has an additional cost associated is the shotgun shooting merit badge. You can free time shoot any of the firearms we have for free. You can do rifle for free and archery for free, merit badges. But if your scouts are in the shotgun merit badge, they'll have to buy a shotgun ticket because they're going to use in excess of $40 or $50 worth of ammunition throughout the week. And there's also an eco fee concept built into that because we're shooting steel shot and clay up into this nature preserve. So please understand that there is a ticket. I believe it's $20 for the week, $25 for the week. That's only for shotgun merit badge. If you're going to shoot 5 rounds for fun, that's built into the cost of camp. So shotgun merit badge scouts should take that into consideration when they're determining how much money they should bring to camp. All right, I'm flipping the page, and these are going to be two of the most useful sheets that you have before camp and during. The first one is our merit badge schedule, or merit badge scheduling worksheet. This one, in a perfect world, you're going to distribute to your scouts in the next few weeks. Go print a bunch of these out and go to a meeting, or take a digital copy of it and send it to all your scouts. That way they can plan out what badges they're going to take when, and they can turn it into your registrant so these things can be inputted into Double Knot starting March 1st. We've done a lot of planning and changing to the schedule to make sure that our merit badges don't get overfilled. So please don't kill yourself stressing to get on at midnight March 1st to sign up for these badges. It's all good. We're going to help you. We're going to support you. There's only a couple badges that are really impacted and big, and for those we offer more sessions. We have more instructors, and we do not anticipate closing merit badges to scouts. The only possibility I can think of now would be small boat sailing merit badge, because it's so popular and there's not very many camps that sign up. So get signed up for scuba ASAP. If your scouts know they want to do sailing, get them signed up. We're very likely not going to close these merit badges. Just wanted to reiterate, we've tried to build the schedule to support you and support the scouts to get everything in. But this worksheet is used so you can put it in. Remember, we need this information so we can digitally distribute all the achievements at the end of the week. This also has little notes. It lets you know what kind of money you might need for the class, or what kind of place you might need to travel, or special equipment that you might have, or training that you might need. So it's a really helpful form. All the timing is totally up to date to our schedule for 2020. And secondarily, as adults, you can look at the far left column, and any program that doesn't say MB for merit badge is a BSA award, and you are able to participate in that program and earn a patch as well. There are some that are they're all nationally recognized. There's some that are offered at other camps, and there's some that are only offered at Emerald Bay that we created, like the BSA Aquarist and the BSA Naturalist. These are programs that our professional staff created over the past decade, and we're really stoked to offer to you adult leaders, so you're getting something even more out of your experience at camp. So check those out. Sign up in advance. You don't have to. You can show up on day one, and we will accommodate. But those are in this schedule too. And scouts can participate in those as well. Just, I don't want to be confusing.
Is there a list of what is included in that, the BSA Aquarist and the other ones? So how would they know what?
I might have to connect you with someone else. I don't think we have it out on the internet, but we do have a lesson plans. They're pretty cool though. They're pretty local.
There's a brief description of each of those programs in our merit badge and awards guide as well. You can find it online.
Yeah, the Naturalist is going to focus on plants and animals and small animals around Catalina Island, and the Aquarist is not just wild. It's also going to teach you how to keep an aquarium at your house, how to maintain it, and for small fish and whatnot. So they're both very unique, and we've got like educated professionals who are teaching them who are going to have some value added for you.
I don't see do you guys have a Trail to First Class program?
We do. It's offered sessions 1 and 2 from the Scoutcraft area, and it is, you're perfect to ask it at this moment. It is signed up for just like any other merit badge. It should be called First Year Rank Advancement.
First Year Rank Advancement. Okay, that's the Trail to First Class.
They're going to do somewhere in the low to mid 20s requirements between Tenderfoot and First Class. We're going to give them a list of what they do, but expect your leaders to sign the books off. It's a great program for first year scouts, both boys and girls. It's run by our rangers who are energetic, high school aged, and they get through, like I said, I think about 21 to 23 requirements. I'm going to flip the page again, but feel free to ask me any questions about past or present stuff as we go through. Again, we recommend you distribute this to your scouts and get them to sign up and turn it into you so you can sign them up in the next 2 months online in Double Knot. That registration will open on March 1st. You don't have to do it on March 1st, but the sooner you do it, the easier your planning will be, and the easier our hiring will be. So please do that.
I don't know if you said, is there a digital format available?
I don't know if there's an editable one. for the merit badge scheduling sheet, like that they can type into?
The program plan.
There's a digital one that's less blurry, but there's not
Like a form.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull it. This entire packet you can pull down,
Yeah,
and
no,
there's
we printed
individual
it
links
before we
too.
came, and it's really clear.
Yeah.
That's
And in
good.
color.
Yeah, they are in color too. So, which brings me to my favorite sheet that we've ever made. And this sheet has some typos. It always does. Anytime we change it, we make mistakes. But it still is your best friend and resource throughout your week at camp. It literally maps out from the moment you arrive to camp to the moment you leave. And the different shades, or for those of you who printed it in color, or those of you who can see it online, the different colors represent like the group of people who should be focused on it. So we've got the very lightest, whitest boxes that are representing merit badge class session times and full camp expectations. The waiter program is shown on there with times. As we move into the light greens and the light grays, those are for leaders. You'll notice those are all leader trainings, leader meetings, things that we expect the leaders to do to come see us and get information. And then the darkest ones represent the meals. They're all food related, nutrients related, so you know when you're going to be able to show up and get fed. So this form it's got everything from start to finish. And there have been some changes in 2019 and 2020 to our arrival schedule. We want to be more efficient. We want to get more done. We want to allow you to get your swim test all done so you don't have to do it at 6 o'clock in the morning. So take note of that first day. It's very unique. And then the next 5 days are kind of a repeat of each other. And then the last day, again, is very unique. A couple things I want to point out just because I might have run over them quickly earlier. Number one, when you arrive to Emerald Bay on Sunday, no matter which week it is, we're going to feed you lunch. You don't have to bring lunch. Eat a breakfast. Not something that's gonna make you sick on a boat, but eat a good breakfast. But know confidently that within 2 hours of your arrival to Emerald Bay, we will feed you lunch. That lunch is unique. It has a rotating schedule where you walk into the dining hall freely and grab some food. Don't get used to it. That's the only meal like that. Every other meal at Emerald Bay, we're going to call you in troop by troop, and you're going to line up in the front and get announcements. So you're going to arrive to camp. It's a little loose. You're going to move around and get an intro from us. Come and grab food. But then starting at dinner on Sunday, starting at our actually it says our fire drill is really the beginning. That's when the hard schedule starts, and we are going to run you through everything with an impressive organization, a level of organization. So come in, get fed, get acquainted with camp, and then we'll get you really started in our schedule at that fire drill on Sunday. And look through that, and if any questions have come from what I've said, bring it on. But I did mention the waiter program. We expect that you send 1 scout for every 10 in attendance at those times to help us prep the dining hall and clean it for each meal. It is okay to assign leaders if you don't have that many youth in your troop, but we do expect people to participate in the waiter program. And the timing that you send them, or the fact that you send them or not, will affect when you're called in for your meals. So if you notice that your troop is one of the last troops every day, it's probably because your scouts aren't showing up for your waiter program. Just kind of a hot tip at this point. There may be other factors like scout spirit or participation or other things, but that's the big one. And we do expect a minimum of 2 scouts and 1 for every 10 that you bring to do the waiter program for every meal. So rotate them through and have the adults participate if they're willing. You'll notice a couple of cool opportunities towards the end. We got adult leader shoots during the midweek where you're invited to go up to the range and shoot without scouts around bothering you. Please take advantage of those. They don't cost anything. They're a lot of fun. Some of the special trainings that we do in the afternoon for adults specifically, you can get your assistant or your scoutmaster training from us. It is an online training, but our commissioner runs a class that's a little bit more entertaining, and it only takes 1 session to earn either of those. In addition to that, we've got introduction to outdoor leadership skills. That is just like a merit badge class that your scouts will take. It'll take all week, each afternoon all week, and you'll do that with our Scoutcraft director. Yeah.
I was going to highly recommend that, because as long as you have your adults there anyway, you
Yeah.
don't have to take time out later on.
Put them in. It's free.
You have to take a weekend camping.
Yeah.
I happen to be one. I happen to be one of the trainers as well. So I would say you've got your parents captive
Yeah.
on the island. Have them all go through the program.
Yeah,
and get trained.
do Assistant Scoutmaster specific and outdoor leadership. The end of outdoor leadership is a Dutch oven cook-off competition anyway, so it's kind of fun and it'll get you engaged with other leaders in camp.
Last year, but yeah. So you're gonna offer assistant scoutmaster, so I'm gonna get right over to that.
We have regular and assistant. Yep.
Do they have
Regular
to attend both sessions or choose one of those blocks?
Choose one of those A and Bs for the specific. Yes. If you want to do both, you can do one each.
Oh, okay.
Or but keep in mind that the outdoor leadership is the whole week. It's only that one that you choose. The NAP Safely is a real training. It's not an acronym. Our head commissioner is a lot of fun, and he'll teach you how to nap safely, and you'll earn a patch. So
That was a fabulous course.
Yeah.
I've used it ever since.
it's a lot of fun, and you'll meet my father. He's the main model in the PowerPoint presentation. Right on. I got this question earlier today, and I am wrapping things up. I promise we're wrapping things up. A couple of reminders. We do not require you to wear your Field A uniform during breakfast, only for your travel to and from the island and your dinner colors. So everyone needs a Field or A uniform. You should wear it for travel for insurance purposes, and we only require that you wear it for colors and dinner. Some troops will wear it for breakfast. That's totally cool, except that's a lot of changing of clothes throughout the day. We know we're in ocean camp. We'd prefer you to be in sun protective, active clothes in the morning and afternoon, and just put on your field uniform at night. There are opportunities to express yourselves and have some scout spirit with our staff. We have a tie-dye Tuesday where the staff wear tie-dyed staff shirts. You're more than welcome to wear tie-dye with us. It's not going to get you anything except a couple of smiles, but we like you to know so you feel part of our camp. Tuesdays we wear tie-dye. Friday nights we wear Hawaiian gear instead of our field uniforms, and again, troops are allowed to do that, but make sure you're not leaving out any of your scouts. If not everyone has Hawaiian, wear your A uniforms. Be cognizant of that. There's something else that Linnea mentioned earlier that I'm forgetting.
Oh, the 2 o'clock block. Are you on something else?
No, go.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're saying
Just
still.
like I don't know.
Oh, we took a look. There's a couple of things that aren't on this main schedule that we anticipated to share with you, but not to fear. The next page has an insane amount of cliff notes. It is sectioned by somewhat subject. I'm not going to read through those, but look at them. The top two are more gear. The top left is kind of just random activities and scheduling things. On the right, those are things that you can earn patches with and extra programs that we haven't talked about yet, maybe even trainings. On the bottom left, it's a lot of logistics and meetings and things like that. And on the bottom right, the first 5 are dates with Scott Gunn that I hope one leader from every troop participates in throughout the week. We've got a bunch of meetings where you get information from me and Linnea and our head commissioner, and those are mandatory for one scout leader from each troop. And all the rest is just letting you know, kind of little notes. You fold this up into 4 and keep it in your pocket, and it's a really good one-sheeter to get through things. Yeah, go.
So I have a question. Scoutmaster wants to know how scouts sign up for the Scuba Merit Badge and what the cost is. Again, the Scuba Merit Badge class is probably going to be Friday after lunch, maybe 1 o'clock-ish, but you must check in with us at the beginning of the week and we'll let you know what time exactly. So you must be a certified diver. If you are already a certified diver, please bring your certification card with you and come to the presentation.
That's great clarification. So whether you're in the program that week or you're previously certified as a diver, the Malibu Divers staff do run those scouts through an opportunity to get to earn the merit badge. There's not too much beyond the certification that's required, but they will, and it does take their time. Please get in touch with them in advance and schedule if you want to be in there, especially if you're not part of their certification that week, if you're a previously certified person.
There's a second question about whether they can do fun dives. So I just want to clarify, because it's a private scout camp, all diving is guided. You're always with a pro. So if you're interested and you're certified and want to dive at camp, you must sign up with Malibu Divers. You can wait till the week you come in. Make sure you have your medical. But it's better if you sign up in advance so that we can plan our resources for you. Once you get to camp on Sunday, come to the dive locker, get on a schedule, and we'll take you for a dive.
Nice.
There's no unguided dives.
Right. We have to have some semblance of control, especially with our gear and the facility. But like we said before, the Malibu Divers staff work extremely hard, but they are incredibly accommodating. They have great personality. They want to provide as much as possible, but you've got to get to them before it's too late. Don't come to them Thursday night or Friday morning and say, I need to dive, because that's just too late.
That sometimes happens with the Rugged C and Rugged E programs. Sometimes they're gone all week. If they know they're going to be gone all week and there's a possibility that they might want to dive when they get back, just check in with us at the beginning of the week before you take off, and we'll try to put a placeholder in for you. You know, we understand that you might be too tired by the time you come back, but at least we know to expect that you might want to dive.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Just a couple of ending thoughts there. In addition to everything that Linnea ran through earlier, the new and improved programs that we've offered, we also have trained a couple of our handicraft staff members in a more advanced carving techniques. So, and we also have a volunteer. His name is Tom Wilson, who is a very accomplished artist, carver, and painter. He will be in camp many weeks during the summer to host this special wood carving program. While he's not there, again, we've got a couple of staff members as proxy, and who might be able to allow scouts to use tools like Dremels and more advanced painting and carving techniques to create really cool slides. The things you see have been created by Tom and scouts that he's trained. I have a couple of myself that I bought. It's really cool, and it really takes that skill to the next level. So we are trying to build a lot of our programs up to a more specialty level, starting with our waterfront, our diving, our marine sciences, and now spreading through camp, so we can have so we can offer things that are going to help people outside of their scouting lives and careers. So please look into that. Please ask us if you're interested in anything we do, or a more robust version of anything that we do. Yeah.
We struggle to make sure that our boys keep shoes on and not flip-flops or things like that. I'm looking at the list, and I see the hiking shoes, tennis shoes, and water shoes.
Yep.
Are they allowed to have flip-flops?
A great clarifying question. We are not going to punish or disallow anyone from participating if they have a flip-flop, but they are not recommended. Okay. Flip-flops are good for showering. They're good for short-term this or that, but to be honest, we recommend a water sock or a Teva or Chico style sandal. Maybe that's not the right word, yeah. Chaco, but that's really the best, because you can hike, and our beaches are rocky. You're definitely not going to make it without something, but flip-flop will do the trick, but it is not recommended. I try to keep the staff from wearing them, but we don't have like an all-out rule against them.
Right, but if we say don't show up with your flip-flops,
we'll support you. And then that's a good transition into one rule I mentioned earlier, where whatever your cell phone policy is within your troop, we will support it. But again, we do not want them used in our program areas. So it's best to keep them as locked away as much as possible, minimize usage, because we want to be outside without doing that stuff. But I want to make it clear that you can have them in camp, but please don't have them in the program areas. Really, the last thing I want to say is thank you. As much as Linnea and I and our business director and full-time staff commit our lives to this camp and program, we know that you're not here for yourselves. You're here to make sure that your scouts have an awesome opportunity, and we want to make sure that that happens. We are a unique council in that we are very camping oriented, and we have over 10 full-time staff members associated with Camp Emerald Bay alone. If you have a question, please email us. We will also take your call and try to help you that way, but there are lots and lots and lots of you. But know that we are full-time year-round employees of the West LA County Council. We're here to provide the best camping experience that we possibly can. and we want to make sure that you're prepared to get to camp. It feels like it's January and the year just started, but camp is coming around. It is coming around the corner. Don't hesitate to get info from us, to reach out to us, to make changes. We still have space in the majority of our weeks. If your troops grow or if you have neighboring troops that want to come, I think only 2 of our weeks out of 9 are maxed out. So please get in touch with us, and please continue to help your scouts grow. We want to push them out of their comfort zone and make sure they have a unique and unparalleled scouting experience at Emerald Bay. So thanks for your time today. I'll definitely take some more questions, but you're free to go, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.